isn't it?
League of Gentlemen, when I first watched that, what I loved so much was in the beginning, the scenes with how many little visual jokes there were in there. And it was like you wouldn't see them all in the first one necessarily. And then you just think about attention to detail.
That was always a deliberate thing because we wanted to reward repeated viewing. And you do that as a fan yourself. You want to, if you've missed something. I'll never forget, there's a little running thing in the first series of the League with newspaper hoardings. Ed Stewart's breath stinks. Mike Reid has beautiful breath. And that's from the very famous documentary, I'm Your Number One Fan, which showcased Blue Tulip Rose Read, Mike Reid, the DJ's biggest fan. I went down there, Classic FM, or the prison, as I know it. Ed Stewart come out. Ed Stewart's breath stinks. And Mike Reid has beautiful breath. And I remember walking...
Can I just say that is the best impersonation? And I actually have heard a few.
I remember 3 years later walking through Soho with Reese, and this bloke ran up to us and just went, Blue Tulip Rose Read. And it was like the only time anyone had ever spotted it. It was a miracle. It was brilliant.
It is one. Have you seen that documentary?
No, I haven't.
It's a bit like... It almost reminds me of the
stalker?
First time I saw Grey Gardens, which is now quite... But I saw it when I was about 11 or 12 years old. It was on very late at night.
You thought
on
you were the
BBC
only one, didn't you?
Yeah, and you just go, what is this magical thing?
Yeah,
That bit like seeing David Lynch and Mark Frost series On the Air, which again was jettisoned to about 1 a.m, a bizarre sitcom created by Lynch and Frost. It's not necessarily a huge success, but it certainly is worth placing in some art gallery or other.
It's like you've woken up and you're still in a dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I want to ask you my question before I forget.
Oh yeah, sorry. You can't forget. It's on your phone.
No, I know.
But yeah, Blue Tulip Rose Read.
Yeah, but the other thing, the brilliant, like all these things, she was the standout. It was about stalkers. There was a bit about Stephen Hendry or Jimmy White being stalked or something. And Blue Tulip got all the headlines because she was. I mean, she was on She was on Britain's Got Talent,
Really?
doing her barking song. She was, very, very disturbed, but it was full of gold. She had this T-shirt made, "Will you marry me?" Mike Reid, and they followed her down to the T-shirt shop. Do you remember? And the guy said, "What do you want to do?" "Will you marry me, Mike Reid?" And what's your name? Could I have your name, please? "Yes, Mrs. Mike Reid." And the guy just went, "Oh, I thought he was gay." And she goes, "Hey, nobody calls him gay. Nobody." And she just burst into tears. It's devastating. But the other one on it, to me, in that way of now being less obvious, to me is more cherishable. There is a mad German on called Klaus, I think, who was obsessed with Princess Diana and the royal family and the fact that they were all lizards from space. And the Queen herself was the beast. And this big thing about you can look at a £5 note and you can see all the clues are there. Because the Queen has those curls which look like 666 and all these things. And there's a fantastic bit in the documentary where he's explained the whole thing with a fiver. He's sitting outside Buckingham Palace on the Victoria Monument, and he sits back and says, "Such a lovely day, and still the beast is on the throne." Just beautiful. Couldn't make it up.